Sweet.
Well, tonight's storm chances are a welcome sight after a few days now of this very extreme heat.
Yeah, and we are starting to get some viewer videos as that weather moves towards the valley and all around it. Meteorologist Pete Mangione here to show us what Mother Nature is drumming up.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, we love getting the rain, but the dust, not so much. But that is a part of the monsoon around here. And some very impressive pictures now coming in on our First Alert Facebook page of a wall of dust moving up from areas like Casa Grande. In fact, this is from Amy Jean on the Facebook page. You could see a very impressive picture. Look at that as that dust is approaching. And she says facing southeast here in the Casa Grande area. So obviously you want to avoid the 10, especially around the Casa Grande area and areas to the north, as the dust will start to push to the north from the outflows of these storms. Now let's show you some video that we did take here. And we have a couple videos here, one from Casa Grande, another from Arizona City. And you can just see that dust. Look at that dust there in the distance. And what happens is you have these thunderstorms. They have downflows, essentially. Air rushes down from the storms, hits the ground. It has nowhere to go except out. So as it spreads out, it kicks up the wind and often takes dust along with it. And obviously, you do not want to be traveling in anything like this. It's best to avoid trying to do that. This is from Jeannie Miller here on that video. And this is south of Arizona City. Check out the angle of this dust storm sent by Lee Lane Staggers. I apologize if I'm messing up pronunciation, but look at that. I mean, look at the visibility drop. You can see the wall of dust approaching. And we're going to be tracking this very carefully, Holly, because I know we have that cluster of thunderstorms, and even if we don't end up getting the rain here, the dust, we're going to have to keep a close eye on this.
Yeah, I was looking at some of our ADOT cameras just down to the south of the valley, and the driving conditions are pretty bad right there along the 10. So there's that massive cluster that Pete was talking about. Those showers and storms are down to the south of us. Our dust storm warning all the way out from Marana up along the 10 through Casa Grande and in the northern portions of Pinal County. Visibility in some of these areas have dropped to about 1/4 mile, and we're dealing with very strong winds picking up that wall of dust and pushing it kind of up north here into the valley. So this dust storm warning in effect through at least 4:45. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets extended. So here are the showers and storms down to the south of us. Some of those have turned into severe thunderstorm warnings outside of the Tucson area. They're moving up to the northwest at about 20 miles an hour at this point. In this, we have some heavy rain that will likely create some flooding concerns, and then also some wind gusts up to about 60 miles an hour. So again, pushing up to the north and to the west. If they continue to hold together, which it looks like they are, could make it here into the valley. We're looking at areas like Casa Grande within the next few minutes or so, Maricopa and into Mesa within maybe that 5 o'clock hour. So that's why the dust storm warnings have been in effect. This is what's kicking up all of that dust and creating that massive wall out here just south of the valley. Areas like Yuma under a flood watch through this evening. We've already gotten videos and reports of some flooding out in the Yuma area. So lots of lightning, heavy rain coming down there, as well as some gusty winds. Up in northern Arizona, not a ton going on in Flagstaff, but just to the north of that over our mountain areas, we are getting some heavy rain. So wind gusts here in the valley around 20 miles an hour, not too bad just yet, but out toward Gila Bend, where some of those thunderstorms are producing some heavier rain and some gusty winds. We have winds in the 30 to 40 mile an hour range. So that's what we're tracking for this evening. Of course, we're going to keep a close eye out on the radar for you. How about high temperatures tomorrow? 99 degrees in Phoenix. Our morning lows in the lower 80s. If you have any upcoming plans for the weekend, we will dry out, and looking at temperatures returning to near normal.
All right, that's like what we like to hear, Holly.
Yes.
Normal. All right, we'll see you in just a bit. So to come here in our 4 o'clock hour, something good is happening to emergency response services in one valley community. How a new call center is going to help 911 operators in Buckeye keep you and your loved ones safe.
All right, this is probably what we're going to be seeing for the next while. A lot of pictures coming in because we've got a weather system moving into the valley. This is a look out in Yuma. I can't tell if it's heavy rain. Yeah, that's some heavy rain falling out there in Yuma. Kind of hard to see, but we definitely have something cooking that is headed this way to the valley here in Phoenix.
Yeah, and if you take a look, really look at it, look closely, you can see the wind kind of just pushing that rain there.
Right.
So it may not be coming down super heavy. It's steady, that's for sure. But if you look, you can see the wind picking it up there. So that is very nice to see.
Yeah, the old sideways rain, Holly. That's usually what comes with the monsoon, along with a lot of other things too.
Oh yeah, and today we're kind of seeing the dust storm aspect. We're getting a lot of photos and videos into our First Alert Facebook page. So just look at how much dust, this massive wall of dust, and this is out near Arizona City. That's kind of near the Eloy area. Here you could see that very defined line. You have to remember this was taken a few minutes ago too, so it's likely that people living in this area are now already starting to see that dust kind of floating closer to the surface, kind of closer to the homes out there. I looked at some of the KTVK cameras, and it looks like the evening commute will be an issue, especially heading out down toward Tucson or up here into the valley. But just take a look at that wall of dust out there. Here's why. We have showers and storms down to the south of us, southeast, and these are really packing a punch. They've turned into severe thunderstorm warnings right outside of Marana and have now kicked up that dust storm warning down south near here, Marana, all the way up the 10. Here's where the 10 splits with the 8 and all the way up just south of Maricopa County. So we'll likely see all of that blowing dust right here along the 10. So again, travel plans, if you have anyone maybe heading this way, let them know of that. There's the showers and storms moving to the northwest at about 20 miles an hour. It looks like this is new here too. This is a flood advisory in this green area. Again, that's right along the 10, a very popular traveled freeway for our evening commute. So keep this in mind. We're looking at heavy rain, strong winds that are kicking up the dust right here into the valley area. We looked at video of Yuma out toward the Yuma area. That's where we're seeing some flooding concerns. They remain under the flood watch. That's in effect down to the south of us, not for us here in the valley. But again, these are moving right directly up to the north and to the west and really packing a punch with some heavy rain, tons of lightning out in that area as well. Here's an update for kind of when we can anticipate seeing some of the activity moving up here into the valley. It looks like within that 5 o'clock hour. And we talked about Yuma. We've seen some activity over the last 1 to maybe 2 hours out in Yuma. People were posting too some pictures of flooding in their area. So heavy rain coming down and some strong winds out there as well. Here's Flagstaff. Areas just north of the area continue to see some showers and storms, but it's here in the valley where we continue to deal with some of that blowing dust. We're going to take a break and we'll be back with you tracking the First Alert radar coming up in just a bit.
Welcome back. Just after 4:30 on your Monday afternoon, we are first alerting you because of that rain. It is lighting up that map behind you.
Yeah, and you know, when we get the rain, it can be nice, but when it's the dust, that's a whole nother issue. The freeways become very dangerous.
When the lightning.
Yeah, lots of lightning out there as well. And so all of this activity that we're really tracking, the dust just down to the south of us, that's all coming from the showers and thunderstorms. And you could see our map lighting up now with different warnings at this point. So areas right along the 10 outside of Marana, kind of in between Casa Grande, dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings, a flood advisory as well. So it might be a little bit hard to see, but if you see that tan shaded color just through Marana up to Casa Grande and just south of Sun Lakes, that's where our dust storm warning is in effect. Some areas have reported less than 1/4 of a mile visibility out on the roadways. So I'll see if I could pull up some of the traffic cameras for you. That could be helpful, but we know, of course, it gets very dangerous when we get this type of dust and a massive wall of dust that we've seen thanks to your photos and videos onto our First Alert Facebook page. So we're looking at some really heavy rain and kind of just encroaching here into the valley area, now north of the Casa Grande area too. So you could see that activity pushing directly up to the north and a little bit to the northwest as well. So when we're tracking that, again, it looks like it's holding together right through Casa Grande. So we're getting some heavy rain, again, some very strong winds, wind gusts to about 40 to 50 miles an hour with some of these showers and some of these thunderstorms as well. That's what we're tracking for this evening. That's why we first alert, because we were planning on this activity to happen for this evening. The good news for the upcoming weekend, we are drying out, calmer weather expected. We'll look at your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and Holly, we're looking at some storms that are producing a lot of rain behind that dust that are moving up here. It almost looks like there's no way we're going to get out of this tonight without any rain around Metro Phoenix. Dust for sure out ahead of the rain, and then some pretty decent amounts of rainfall as we take a look at the radar. In fact, let's interpret it a little bit for you, and we'll focus in on the massive showers that's just to the south of the valley right now. Those showers are moving almost due north, but a little bit of a westerly tilt to them right now at about 15 miles an hour or so. And so as we draw a little line on them, you'll see about how far it's going to be until these start making it into the valley, and it's not going to be very long. We'll be into Maricopa very, very shortly, into Phoenix at about 6:38 if the storms continue on this tract as well, and we will continue to monitor that. Now, the storms themselves, you know what? Some of them are severe, but some of the storms have not really turned into the really super severe storms that we see a lot of times with these cells. In fact, we'll get you some rainfall amounts. Right here looks like we'll get a pretty nice rainfall amount. 5.63 inches of rain. That's the I-10 south of Eloy and Casa Grande. Probably a little closer to Tucson than to Casa Grande. That's a huge rainfall rate. Let's come up toward Casa Grande, I-10 and the I-8 interchange. The rainfall rate right there is 2 3/4 inches. So that is hard to drive through. We're not going to see 2 3/4 inches of rain because it's not going to rain an hour there, but we certainly are going to see a whole lot of rain in a short period of time. And now we have these fingers of showers that are starting to reach into the extreme South Valley toward Florence and Casa Grande. Look at that. We've got a 5.63 inch per hour rainfall rate in that cell that's moving just between the interstate and Florence at this point. And so that's a lot of strong rain out there. Interestingly enough, we're not seeing a ton of cloud to ground lightning out of this. We'll widen this view out. We'll get it set to lightning mode and give you some numbers if we can, and show you that the lightning numbers aren't super huge right now. That could change as this system progresses, but right now in that cluster of storms, we're picking up about 59 strikes total, 49 of them negative, 8 positive strikes. That's not a ton of a lot of lightning for a storm cell like this, so it looks like this storm cell has mainly started to rain itself out, and that's the reason it's pushed the dust storm our way. That dust storm continuing to make its way up toward Metro Phoenix, and Holly will have more on the warnings on that in just a second. So here we go. Let's take a look at the leading edge of the rain where we can show you that as it moves into the valley, and you'll see that the closest it is to the valley, still Sackatone way, maybe Florence about to pick up some showers. The dust itself, let me see if we can show you that by turning this 5-type radar way up into high gain and see if we can get perhaps a little bit of a better view on where the outflow boundaries may be, because that could show us exactly where the dust storm is indeed. So let's see if we can do that. And we're now, here we go. Hypened up. Let's see what we got. Okay, so what you've got right now is a dust storm that is rolling from about right here, and we're going to have to interpolate a little bit because the radar gets blocked by mountains, but I drew a very poor line there. Let's erase that and try to draw that again. But that's the area where we're going to have the dust storm right now sweeping across southern portions, central portions of Pinal County, and coming up toward Maricopa County, coming into Maricopa County, and also into the Southeast Valley. That's going to probably be here in about 10 to 20 minutes or so into the county. Sun Lakes, you can expect that in about 20 to 25 minutes or so. Now again, this dust storm, as it heads our way, is losing a little punch because it's getting farther away from its source. It's still very dense. It's beginning to broaden out because these storms tend to broaden out as farther they get away from the storms that produce them. And we are going to have visibilities that are going to be way less than zero as that dust storm continues to proceed in. Let's just widen out a bit and see where we might have any other outflow boundaries around the valley. At this point, it doesn't look like we do have any other outflows around the valley which could interact with that. So again, we've got a big batch of showers to the south of us right now. We are going to get an update from Holly on the latest warnings and perhaps some videos as well. The dust is crazy, and if anyone back in sub-control wants to pick up an ADOT, that would be A-OK with us as well. But one more time, here's the area where we've got the dust storm, and we can see that because we crank up the radar and we can see the outflow boundary pretty clearly right there. And so that's where the dust storm is, the leading edge of that dust storm, just about to make it into portions of the valley, probably about 15 minutes off the Loop 202 at its most southernmost reaches of the 202. And we also have, that's Queen Creek here, that's the radar site there, and that is for Gateway Phoenix Airport. We have Chopper, I'm told. Let's take a look and see what we got on Chopper. Well, there you go. Now that's a classic Haboob, wouldn't you think? That is a classic Haboob that's moving through the farm fields of Pinal County and coming up our way. It is a strong one. It's going to be interesting. You know, we have a new rating system for dust storms. It'll be interesting to see what this one is. It doesn't look like, the highest rating is a 5. It doesn't look like it's going to be a 5, but certainly somewhere in the middle. It has lost a little bit of punch since we first had eyes on it around Eloy, but it's a significant dust storm moving our way. Winds are probably estimated about 25 to 35, if not 40 miles an hour. Its direction itself, it looks like we've got it moving at about 25 miles an hour on our Doppler radar. So a very good view of this dust storm as it begins to make its way toward the valley, and that is going to certainly reduce visibilities as it becomes, well, it gets in closer. It's obviously reducing visibilities now, but as it gets into the valley for the drive time, which is in the not too distant future, it's going to be into town, we will certainly see some issues with that. All right, we'll continue to track this dust storm. We'll continue to track the rain behind it, and we'll continue to track what we think is going to be an active monsoon night around the Valley of the Sun when our first alert forecast returns.
Do you love your bank?
Not really.
Okay, what if you had crazy ATM access? More than the top 3 national banks combined.
I'm always looking for cash. Who are we talking about here?
It's Chime. Join Chime, the #1 most loved banking app today.
All right, in case you haven't heard, there are storms heading into the valley. It is almost rush hour. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, hopefully people are safe on the roads.
Yeah.
We want to get over to our Derek Stahl. He's live in the newsroom. Derek, you're taking a look at all of those videos that the viewers have sent in. We've already seen that one of them with the dust storm rolling in. Crazy.
Yeah, we're getting all kinds of video of the dust right now in Casa Grande, in Coolidge. People all over are posting these videos on our First Alert Facebook page. They're also going to azfamily.com. I love this one from Nicole Kluth. She posted a bunch of pictures and videos, and she kind of gave us a first-person sense of what's going on. She said the first pic is just before we ran inside at 411. These pictures were taken between 406 and 411. She says this thing moved in with power. Take a look at this image. That, I think, is her right down there. You can see all the dust up above. And if I switch to this video here, just see the wall of dust coming in. Again, this coming in the Casa Grande area. Take a look at some videos now from our azfamily.com. These are ones we haven't showed you yet. This is folks in Coolidge that are posting this, and you can see the dust all up above their house and everything like that. And if I switch, I'm gonna have to go over here. Let's go right here to this one on the road there. So obviously road conditions are a major concern. You can see some of the cars just driving, and obviously we've said it before, but if you are in the dust storm and you want to stop, pull over, get off the road, take your foot off the brake, because you don't want to lure other cars potentially when there's a very low visibility situation. Here's Santan Valley. This is Alicia McDonald. She posted this one at 4:30 this afternoon. Looks like she's got a bit of a ranch there, and you can see just a massive wall of dust. I want to show you one more. This one is from I guess kind of a professional streamer who has posted on our page there. This is Scott, and Scott's in motion, and you can see the height of those clouds there as he drives between Casa Grande and Phoenix. He goes by the name Storm Runner Media online. So this thing is packing a punch. It's bringing a whole lot of clouds and dust as well. The videos are coming in. Keep them coming. Keep them coming to the AZ Family First Alert weather page. I want to send it over. Can I send it over now to Holly? Is she ready to go?
people who are driving in that area. That visibility is down to even 100 feet. Someone had posted to the National Weather Service. So this is our Maricopa camera looking down directly kind of to the south into the east. You saw that wall kind of forming, and now it looks like that dust has really just taken over out near the Maricopa area. Our dust storm warning has now been extended into the Phoenix metro area. So I've told you it's been down from Marana along the 10 up through Casa Grande. It now includes us right here in the Phoenix area. So here's Chandler. There's the Loop 202 up through about central downtown Phoenix, also including areas like Gilbert, again, Chandler, out toward Mesa, Apache Junction, Queen Creek, as that wall of dust continues to move up to the north and up to the west as well. So that's about an 80-mile stretch where that dust storm warning is in effect down near Marana, all the way up here into the Phoenix metro area. Again, lots of very strong winds, I should say. Visibility has come down significantly, so that will impact our evening commute. Again, right there along the 10, but now likely to impact our valley freeways as well. Again, the activity has moved up from the north to kind of to the north and to the west as well at about 20 miles an hour. Royal's going to have a closer look at those showers and storms. But look at this, wind gusts in the 40-mile-an-hour range. Strong winds. The ADOT cameras are showing very poor visibility down near the Casa Grande area, out near Coolidge, 47-mile-an-hour wind gusts at this point. Temperature-wise, we're not really noticing a difference. Of course, we would need that rain to move in, Royal. So if you want to show us kind of where that activity is heading right now.
And you know what? We're going to show you that. Go right, though, to our helicopter shot, which is an amazing shot of this dust storm that has been moving in. It really has widened out and is moving, as Holly said, to the northwest at probably about 20 miles an hour or so. Now, some edges of it have flattened and lowered a little bit, and that's just sort of typical of a dust storm as it gets farther and farther away from its source. But it also is indicative of the fact that there's a lot of dust in this storm and the visibilities are super, super low. So we are not going to mess with that at all. Now, in terms of radar, let's go to sweeping radar for you. And I want to show you where the area of the watch is. And you can see that it really does encompass the Southeast Valley, all of the Southeast Valley under the dust storm warning. It includes Avondale, includes downtown Phoenix, the airport, Mesa, Chandler, Apache Junction, Gold Canyon included in that. And you're saying, well, where is the dust? Well, we're going to crank up the gain just a little bit for a second on this, and you'll see here is the dust. You can kind of see the dust is actually getting encroached upon a little bit by some of the rain shower activity, but the dust extends from right here to about right here, so it's just about to move into the Firebird Lakes area. Also, we'll see that into the Ahwatukee area in the not too distant future. It's going to be on the Loop 202 probably in anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, and visibilities are going to go way down with this. But besides that, we also have some thunderstorms behind it that are very interesting as well. These thunderstorms are producing a lot of rain. We mentioned earlier, not a ton of cloud to ground lightning, but certainly a lot of rain. Let's check out some of the rainfall amounts, and we can show you that right now we've got a peak rate there of 1.5 inches per hour, which is not bad at all. Down by Eloy, a little bit of a thunderstorm. We are going with 4 inches per hour on the rainfall rate. And then one of the more moderate ones we'll pick just along the interstate to show you that about 1/2 inch of rain is falling north of Casa Grande near the interstate. Closest cell we have into the valley right now looks to be just south of the Casa Grande, south of the Gilbert area, and that is not even showing up in terms of the number of how much rainfall precipitation is exactly falling from that. So let's widen up. We'll put her back in motion, show you what's happening. There's the line of showers and thunderstorms as it moves into the valley. It's going to continue to move in to the northwest, generally speaking, at about 10 to 25 miles an hour. And we'll put a leading edge on this and see if we can time out some areas. And we'll go with the dust that's sort of leading the whole edge of this. And we're going to be into Chandler very shortly, in central Phoenix at about 5:30, Glendale about, well, near 6 o'clock. It might be into Glendale before 6 o'clock, but for sure this dust storm is going to encompass much of the valley over the next half hour or so, and we may see that dust warning extended into northern portions of the valley as well. So we've got the helicopter shot up. That's a beautiful dust storm. We haven't seen one like that in a long time. Very nicely formed. Later on tonight, we're going to be able to figure out how wide this dust storm was, but it looks like it's a pretty wide one indeed. And visibilities are way down below a half mile in this dust storm, although some of the visibilities are up around a mile. So Stephanie's out chasing this. Stephanie, have you found your way into any of the dust? Oh, you can see it in the distance, can't you?
Hey, Royal, we sure can. So all of the video that you viewers are seeing, everything that you're sending in to us, everything that we've shown you on our radar, we're almost in the thick of it, literally. I have my camera here. We can see it off in the distance, so we're driving right into it. I would like to take we have a second camera in here on top of inside our car. So this is kind of what the view looks like now. Traffic, very light. You can see how dark the sky is. You can also see, I don't know if you can tell from our camera angle and how far it is, but I can see all of the line of dust and where it's accumulating. So we're going to stay on the path. We're going to head right into it. Obviously, we're going to stay safe, and we'll keep you posted on what we see. So for now, I'm going to toss it back to the studio.
In Jamaica, you can run in the sand or compete on the track. You can make friends or make fans. You can cool off in the mountains or you can move down. You can lay back or lean in. That's the spirit of Jamaica. We do big things here. Come see for yourself.
All right, we've got a first alert in progress right now for thunderstorms in the area. 1/4 inch of rain. The first thing we're going to see, though, is dust, as a big dust storm is blowing our way. In fact, there's the area of the dust storm warning, includes all of the Southeast Valley and part of central Phoenix. We're likely to see that extended northward into northern portions of the valley as well. But lots of dust moving in there as a clear-cut Haboob. Timing on this, we're going to be very shortly into Chandler, downtown Phoenix at about 6 o'clock, Glendale at about 6:23 at this point. There's a lot of rain in this system to the south of us, so we still feel like we've got a lot of shower activity headed our way, cloud to ground lightning. We cannot rule out the potential for severe weather, though right now we haven't seen any. Big rain over in Yuma. They get just a little more than 3 inches of rain per year. They might have beaten that today. So here's a quick look at our first alert forecast for you. We first alert tonight and tomorrow for the chance for thunderstorms. After that, we'll dry things out. And of course, we'll continue to follow these dust storms and thunderstorms moving into the valley as we go throughout the evening hours.
It might be a good time to remind people that if you are driving into that, if it catches up to you, slow down.
Yes.
Turn the lights off.
Yes.
Yes.
Get out to the side.
There you go. Royal, thank you. We got more on this monsoon coverage coming up at 5.
Well, we begin with a first alert for storms tonight, and look at this. The wind's picking up, strong storms approaching the valley. Thanks for joining us on a Monday evening. I'm Jared Dillingham.
And I'm Nicole Kreitz. We're seeing widespread storms in southern Arizona with this wall of dust that is pushing north. It is coming our way, and we're tracking the impact on your commute, the airport, and checking in on our crews in the field. Let's begin with Holly Bach.
Yeah, guys, this is kind of the first real dust storm we've seen so far this monsoon, with that a wall of dust out there in the distance. Now you can kind of see has taken over completely, a little bit more widespread at this point as it continues to move its way up to the valley. So here's what we're tracking. Those showers and storms are down to the south of us. That's what's kicking up the dust and bringing some of that dust right there along the 10 up through Casa Grande and Sun Lakes. Our blowing dust advisory has now been extended all the way up here into the valley. So I want to get out to a crew that we have out there right now, and then we'll come back to this radar. But if Stephanie is available, want to see what she's dealing with, because she's out there on the roadways right now and maybe seeing something in her area.
Camera is, we are in the thick of this dust storm on the road. A lot of folks have their hazards on, trying to drive as safe as possible. Take a look at our camera on the front of our car. You can see just how thick this dust is. Trying to drive through it is honestly very scary. And, you know, obviously you want to be very careful. My photographer, Miguel, has had to slow down. You know, we're driving under the speed limit of 20, and a lot of people are. And at this point, you have folks pulled over, hazards on, trying to just make their way through this maze of a dust storm. It's very thick with the wind starting to pull through too. You can't see anything. I mean, if we can stay on our camera for as long as possible, you can see starting to move. If you can see it starting to move, it's almost like we're in snow. You know, I'm from the New England area, and this is what I would see if we were in the thick of a snowstorm. So just to kind of gauge that for you, just how thick the sand is, you can't see anything. You can't even really see the road. Even if the folks in front of you didn't have their lights on, you know, this could potentially be even more of a disaster, you know, especially for folks on the road. So good for everybody in this area. If you catch wind of this later in the shows or later in the night and you were driving east towards Casa Grande, you know, good for you if you were in this area. A lot of drivers here taking this very seriously. You know, you never know when you're going to really make it out. You know, that's kind of how this weather hits. You never know when you're going to, you know, what you're going to experience, how you're going to experience it, how aggressive it's going to be. You kind of just got to wade through it as safely as possible. I know our camera can't turn, but I can see a lot of folks on the side of the road. So we're going to make our way out here, and we'll stay with you guys.
Well,
and
that's
we'll
what we
check
tend to
in.
see. Thanks so much, Steph. And of course, we want you to be safe too. Why don't you guys go ahead and pull over? That's what people do when they're in these situations. You want to pull over, turn those lights on, your hazards on, because you could just see the intensity of the blowing dust in that area. I don't know exactly where she was. If I were to guess, it would probably be somewhere along the 10. That's where we've seen that visibility. And you can even see in her shot there, reduced to about 50 feet, maybe even less than that for some people. Here's our dust storm warning. I showed you it was down for Marana, but now all the way up through parts of the Phoenix metro area. So now including areas like Chandler, Mesa, out to the East Valley too. So this is just in time for our evening commute, and of course making some very dangerous driving conditions. Here are the showers and storms, but that dust storm, what was down here to the south, was almost an 80-mile stretch down from that area. It's now let up, it looks like, now down near the Marana area, but they're dealing with some flooding concerns at this point. So here are the showers and storms moving their way up to the north and to the west. And Maddie, is this a live chopper shot? All right, looks like our chopper may have gone down. We have our chopper out there as well. Of course, it's a little bit easier and safer for us to see it from the sky. But again, this is what we've been tracking, the activity down to our south, moving up to the north and to the west at what was about 20 miles an hour at this point. So we don't have the rain here in the valley just yet. That would be nice because that could help with some of the dust down there, but it's still kind of positioned right near the Casa Grande area. Some very intense wind gusts at this point. You'll see on your right our chopper going in and out. At times we're trying to get that shot for you, but on your left there's the current wind gusts. 47-mile-an-hour winds out near Maricopa, Coolidge. 39-mile-an-hour wind gusts out near Casa Grande. So on the right there's our chopper shot. Again, this has pretty much been our first real big dust storm throughout this monsoon. So Royal, we've kind of talked a lot about those showers and storms. I want to see if you have anything, if you're ready at this point to kind of look over some of the other activity.
Yeah, the windfall amounts are pretty amazing. As you say, they're in the 40 to 45 mile an hour range, and Casa Grande's had a peak gust of 48 now, 47 at Coolidge. We're still in the 20s in the East Valley. That's going to get higher. Phoenix Sky Harbor has had a 39 mile an hour wind gust so far, and as that dust storm moves up from the southeast, we're going to see those dust storm numbers come up. So let's do a little bit of a radar study if we can, and we'll get right to radar and show you what's happening out there as far as the showers and the dust is going. There's the area where we have the dust storm warning for the Phoenix area. That dust storm warning is including downtown Phoenix, the airport, airport, all of the East Valley included in that dust storm warning. And it does look like we are going to see an awful lot of dust in that area throughout the next couple of hours. The blowing dust advisory now till 7, but that's for areas south of town. The warning happened to click on the dust storm advisory. The warning is more up north, and we'll pick that up with the dust storm warning until 5:45 in portions of Metro Phoenix. So 5:45, that puts us about 50 minutes out for that blowing dust in central portions, mainly in eastern portions, but maybe making their way into the central portions as well. Love this graphic because it tells you how fast things are moving and where they'll be in town over a specific amount of time. And right now we've got this storm, the leading edge of it, into Chandler in about 30 minutes or so, be in downtown Phoenix after the 6 o'clock hour, and then perhaps if it holds together, which we think it will in some form, up around 6:30 into Glendale. Now that doesn't mean rain for you, but that certainly means you're going to see a whole heck of a lot of dust associated with this. Now let's take a look at the rain and where it is right now. We're going to go to street level if we can get down to that, and also our sweeping radar, which is the most accurate kind of radar that we have right now. Here's the Loop 202, and we've got some showers just moving on to the Loop 02 with a gust front ahead of it, so you can assume that there is a strong dust storm right there on the east side of town with the 202 that is continuing to make its way in. Again, the winds in these dust storms have been running anywhere from 35 to 45 miles an hour, and we think we'll continue to see that for at least the next half hour or so as these storms continue to make their way through. Now, we'll turn off the the part that was making us look at one part of the storm and look at the rain as it begins to make its way into the southeast valley. There's Sun Lakes. We've got a pretty good cell just south of the 101 and Gilbert and Higley that is moving up. Looks like some rain has crossed the Loop 101 at this point. And let's check out if we can get a rainfall rate number from up in that vicinity. That'll show you how strong that shower is. Rainfall rate, there we go, not popping up. We're getting the blowing dust advisory. I apologize for that. There's the rainfall rate, just under an inch per hour. So that's a pretty good pour down. It's not going to last for an hour, but it tells you that there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of rain out there in a short period of time. Another rainfall number for it looks like it could be raining even harder, the darker red, and we're going to click and see. We continue to get the blowing dust advisory, so I apologize for that. We're not going to be able to get the rainfall numbers on some of those. We can tell you, though, those rainfall rates are well in excess of 2 inches per hour, though those areas won't get 2 inches of rain. They are going to get an awful lot of rain in a short period of time. So here we've widened things out, and we are showing you the cluster. I'm going to put it in motion, and I think we're going to toss it over to Pete here in a second. Someone let me know if Pete's ready. Pete's been in the newsroom tracking some of the photographs on this, and if you guys can let me know when Pete's ready. But see how these storms are moving to the northwest at about 10 to 20 miles an hour or so. It looks like we're going to see a fair amount of rain in the East Valley. We don't know how much of this will make its way into the West Valley before we start seeing some outflow boundaries there, and we'll continue to monitor that as well. Severe thunderstorm warnings have been well to the south of us. Flash flood warning as well along the I-10 north of Tucson. So really anyone traveling the I-10 corridor between Phoenix and Tucson tonight, not a great idea at all. And I love that we've got the helicopter up. That is just an amazing, amazing picture. If you want to take that full, folks, and just show that for a while, we haven't seen a monsoon dust storm like that in a long time, maybe a couple of years, and this one's really expanded out. It's a wide one. At one point down in Eloy, it was probably about 5,000 feet in the atmosphere. I'm betting it's about 4,000 to 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere right now as it makes its way into the valley. All right, Pete's been covering this storm as well in the newsroom. Pete, what do you got for us?
At Royal, we're just going over tons of viewer pictures which are coming into azfamily.com. This is the dust storm from Gold Canyon. And by the way, as we go through these, remember some of these are a few minutes ago. So even though you're seeing this one, wow, look at this, Queen Creek. This is from John Zach. And you can just see that wall of dust. You can see why this is so dangerous, because you've got basically good visibility on one side of this thing, and then it just drops like that. That's why not recommended to be driving in this at all. And we continue to see more pictures coming in. Let's see what else we got. This is from Arthur. This is actually a video here. I am not quite sure on this location, but again, this is what we've been seeing all afternoon around the Casa Grande area, areas to the south of Phoenix, where you have clear, and then all of a sudden, looking the distance, you have that wall of dust moving through. And as Royal mentioned, for Phoenix Metro, we have to be aware that over the next 30 minutes to say hour, this could be moving through Phoenix Metro. So even though you're seeing some of these pictures coming from locations you think of as maybe kind of far away from Phoenix, the wall of dust could be approaching. This is from Casa Grande. This is sent by Abe. Let's play this video. And this actually really demonstrates how dangerous it can be on the roads and the highway. You can see cars out there. And this is just huge. This is the biggest dust storm, like we've been mentioning, that we've seen here in a long, long time. We've also gotten pictures on the First Alert Facebook page. This is sent by Nicole earlier. Not sure about the location on this, but the theme is similar. You can see wall of dust moving in and moves to the north. And we'll have to pay close attention to the radars. We have dust storm warnings now covering Metro Phoenix. So far, this dust storm has held together, and it's a situation we'll have to monitor closely going forward. I'm not sure who I'm tossing to now, but I'm going to toss back, I think, to...
Hey, Pete.
Hey,
we're watching
Nicole and Jared, how are you doing?
That's okay. We're watching this storm unfold, and so it's all hands on decks for everyone behind the scenes and in the field. Anytime the scanners start popping like this, we send you can see our chopper is out there. They're trying to bring back a signal. But earlier we showed you that shot from Stephanie, who was off I-10 just in the Casablanca area. So that's halfway between Chandler and Casa Grande. Yep. She was pulled off the side of the road, and we want to make sure that we give you good information. So if you ever get caught where there's zero visibility like this, you got to pull off and turn off your lights.
It's counterintuitive, because I feel like if you're driving along and visibility drops quickly, which we saw, here's the video.
Intense.
Or maybe this is them live pulled off to the side of the road, but when visibility drops, it's counterintuitive because you think, well, I'm going to leave my lights on, I'm going to leave my hazards on, but the advice from ADOT and DPS is to always pull aside and turn all your lights off, because they say if you leave your lights on, there's a risk of somebody from behind you thinking you're still going, following you, and crashing into you. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but that's the advice from ADOT, is to pull off to the side and turn all of your lights off.
Yeah, they call it the pull aside, stay alive, and they say set the emergency brake, keep your foot on the brake pedal, and stay in your seat-belted vehicle until the storm passes. Here's another live look. We're kind of bouncing around to our valley cam. So this is, where is this again, Maddie?
347. Okay. So this is the highway down to Maricopa. And this is the highway. I feel like of all of our highways, the I-10 and the 347 get hit the hardest when these dust storms move through. And Royal was talking about the size of this dust storm. This is huge in general. We're calling it a Haboob now because it's risen to that level. And also, I think it's exceedingly rare to see a Haboob or a dust storm this size in the month of August, late August, because usually I feel like we normally see this at the start of the monsoon season before all that desert land and farmland is tamped down by the moisture and the storms. We haven't had a whole lot of that this year, so maybe that's why we're seeing this huge cloud. And Royal, I don't know if your microphone's up or if you want to weigh in on that, but as a layman, that's my interpretation of what we're seeing here tonight.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've had a late start to the monsoon. We had a couple of little rains. Hasn't been enough to really tamp down much of the dust. We were trying to check the status of Sky Harbor Airport with those high winds moving in. Right now they're listing 15-minute delays or less, which is nothing at all, as you know. But yeah, this kind of dust storm is more typical, prototypical, if you will, in late June, early July. The Haboob that put Phoenix on the map, which was July of 2011, the Mike Olbinski photo, the famous photo, that was early July storm. So to see one at this time of the year kind of shows you how the monsoon is right now, at least this year, has been out of whack for us. It's been very dry across the entire state. We talked about this last week. There's not a rain gauge in Maricopa County with an above average tally so far for the monsoon. And that's a little disturbing when you think about it. All right, Holly's got more from us on this storm as it begins to plow into the valley.
Yeah, Royal, we're now looking at a severe thunderstorm warning. This is new, just within the last minute or so. So we've been talking to you about, if you guys want to switch over to my weather computer, KTVK1, that would be great. We've been talking to you guys about what is a dust storm warning right here through the valley, but we're now seeing a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's in effect for the Queen Creek area. So you could see that orange shaded color here. Roy, I'm looking at your computer, I think. Here we go. There's mine. A dust storm warning, but now that severe thunderstorm warning as well, and that is for the Queen Creek area. It's kind of that darker orange shaded color you see there. So we're looking at the showers and storms moving up to the north at about 10 miles an hour with this for the Queen Creek area if you live here, but then also if you live out toward Chandler, Gilbert, we're looking at wind gusts excess of about 40, maybe even 50 miles an hour, and some heavy rain about to hit near the Queen Creek area. Again, this is all from the showers and storms that were just down to the south and southeast of us that we've been tracking. Our dust storm warning has expired now for the Casa Grande area, but still in effect through at least the next half hour or so across the East Valley up to Phoenix, kind of downtown Phoenix as well. And we're looking at, again, winds possible up to about 50 to 60 miles an hour. So for a closer view on that cell itself, Royal, is that what you're looking at over there?
Yeah, we are. We're looking at the severe cell that we have in the southeast valley right now. The severe thunderstorm warning in effect for essentially the Queen Creek area, but also for Mesa Gateway Airport. That's that little ray dome that you see there. And we're going to go to street level to show you exactly where the heaviest rains are falling. Here's the loop 202 with Valverde Drive. Very heavy rain falling there at this point. We're also seeing some very, very heavy rain at Power Road, all along Power Road. Queen Creek is picking up some heavy rain right now. This is the area where we do have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for at least the next 45 minutes or so. And that storm is progressing to the northeast, so Gilbert and Chandler and areas of Mesa, you are going to be impacted by that storm as well as it begins to move your way. So severe thunderstorm warning on that cell right there. And by the way, we put this in a different mode, different radar mode, and you can see that blue popping up in the area where we've got the warning. Well, that's indicative of the potential anyway for hail, and that is picking up right in the warning area south of Queen Creek. So if you're in the Queen Creek area or anywhere around there, you're probably going to see some pea-sized hail. It's going to come down really quick. The rain is going to dump on you, and you're going to get some wind as well. Have not seen any microbursting tendencies yet. That's something that we're going to look for very closely, but now we've got rain into Gold Canyon. We've got rain just about to move onto the 202, and we also will see that dust spreading across the valley over the next couple of hours, Holly.
Well, Royal, we're getting a lot of viewer Facebook photos and videos into our First Alert Facebook page. Our directors may still be queuing that up if you want to keep talking about. I don't know if you have anything else to add, but you know what you and I were talking about earlier? Of course you have something to add. You're Royal Norman. The dust storm ranking system. Yeah. That's new this year from the National Weather Service. So that could be really interesting to just see what ranking, kind of like a hurricane scale, what ranking this dust storm will go to.
And because it's so wide and so tall and is so dense, it might be a top-rated one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens there. Want to get you out to your photos and videos that you're sending us right now. Of course, a lot of us have been dealing with the dust, but we're now actually getting some rain video also in from the Casa Grande area. So here we go. Melissa, thanks so much for sending this in. You could see the rain coming down there out in her neighborhood, and it's very hazy out there in storm photos and videos as well. I'm scrolling through our First Alert Facebook page with you right now. If you haven't joined it, it's a great group to be a part of. You could post your videos there. Here's someone who said they had to pull over off the 87 highway on the Gila River Indian community. Like Jared and Nicole were saying, that's the best thing to do at this point. If you are stuck in a dust storm, of course, we know visibility has gotten very, very poor along the 10, kind of on that stretch in between Casa Grande and here in the valley. But look at this, Apache Junction. Bruce Evans posting this, and this is just crazy. You could see that line there of where that dust wall was moving up here into the valley. Like Royal has said, it appears to be a little bit more widespread at this point as we head into that 5 o'clock hour, but it did kind of start, of course, as that big wall just down to the south and to the east of us. Here's Sheila. She said crazy with some of her video. It appears to be rain, and if I were to guess, that's the Apache Junction area, or Casa Grande, excuse me. Here's another video that we have where you could just see the wind really pushing those trees back and forth. Again, we've had wind gusts in excess of about 40 to 50 miles an hour down to the south of the valley. So we've been getting a lot of these into our Facebook page. I'll leave you here with this one. This is from Michelle in Gilbert. So again, that dust storm warning in effect for the Southeast Valley and through the downtown Phoenix area, including areas really Royal, near Chandler, Gilbert. That's where we're seeing that big wall of dust still kind of popping up here into the valley.
Yeah, and a reminder that the severe thunderstorm warning in the Southeast Valley and Gilbert goes till 6 o'clock tonight. Heavy rain, potentially some hail, very gusty winds, lots of ground lightning there too as well.
Okay, and it looks like, you know, in the 4 o'clock hour we were talking about what was just dust.
Yeah.
If we're looking at your radar right now, we're looking at a chopper shot. We're looking at, I think, what appears to be a ADOT camera, likely down to the south of us as well. This is the loop 202, I'm told, on the left side of your screen. On the right side of your screen is our chopper shot, and it looks like now on the left we have a crew out there in the field who it looks like they're getting a little bit of rain out there. It's kind of hard to see on our monitors here, but it looks like they're getting some rain out there as well. So what was Royal, that 4 o'clock hour, just dust for us, we're finally seeing that monsoon activity make its way here into the valley.
Yeah, and you know what, if we pull up a traffic map, the south end of the Loop 202 is just getting crushed with rain right now. It's just beginning to move in. So you're going to see traffic along that part of the East Valley slow down significantly. There's a lot of cloud to ground lightning. There's a bunch of heavy rain associated with this cell. Severe thunderstorm warning, as mentioned, until the top of the hour. And we're also looking at this moving to the northwest at about 20 miles an hour. So we could have a big impact on Sky Harbor Airport if we haven't already, because these outflows are already pushing into the runway areas, the landing areas for Sky Harbor. So we could be seeing some potentially delays at Sky Harbor as well as these move in.
Okay, I was checking in on that right now. Yeah. If you wouldn't mind.
I'm seeing, Royal, a couple of flights. They're still taking off. They're still landing right now. But you were saying even earlier there was a gust there of 39 miles an hour. So it looks like they're preparing to maybe hold some flights. And I think there are some delays. Other airports, according to the FAA, are delaying sending flights into Phoenix from across the Southwest. So maybe from Albuquerque, Denver, from Southern California. They're delaying sending those flights into us until the storms pass tonight. So if you have someone coming in tonight, expect them to be delayed. And if you're heading to the airport for a flight out, expect maybe a delay until the storm passes this evening.
Yeah, if you've got our AZ Family First Alert weather app, you're getting the live radar, you're getting our push alerts, and of course you're seeing these live images of the aerials of this wall of dust, a haboob that's really the first of this monsoon season for us. It is causing a widespread low visibility for so many drivers, very dangerous in our evening commute. So let's go ahead and check in on that evening commute with Derek Stahl, watching all the ADOT cams, and it's a mess out there, Derek.
It's an absolute mess. We see it on the traffic maps right here. A lot of slowdowns in the Southeast Valley, particularly along the Loop 202. We've been talking about it. So I want to highlight this area right here. It's the Loop 202 near the 101, just east of the 101. Here's what it looks like. This is 202 east of the loopbound 101. The visibility, actually, I have to say, in the last 10 to 15 seconds has been getting better, because just moments ago, I was seeing these cars heading this direction on the 202 and they were disappearing. You could not see the taillights at all. Now the situation has been improving. If I switch over to another camera, though, I got nothing. I got just gray. I had another camera that I was about to show you, but it went offline. So as this dust storm moves through, we're kind of picking up different ADOT cameras. They're coming in, they're coming out. Let me zoom out and show you a little bit bigger view here of the picture, the traffic situation here in the valley. This is worse than it normally looks, I would say, in an evening commute situation, particularly down south. So as we look down on the 10, down sort of through the Sun Lakes area, the 347 as it branches off, as people head down towards Maricopa, that is looking particularly bad. I think I can draw a measurement. No, I'm not going to be able to draw a measurement on the backup for you. But that's the latest on the traffic situation. It does look like it's getting maybe a little bit better on the 202. I'll toss it back to to Stephanie now, who's actually on the roadways. Stephanie, what are you seeing?
Yeah, so we are still on I-10 towards Casa Grande, but we went through dust and now we've hit rain. So I want to show our camera on the front of our car. You can see, yeah, as you said it, low visibility, driving very slow. Obviously, we went through not just dust, but now we have severe rain. We did see lightning off in the distance. It's coming down very fast and hard. So, obviously we need to you're going from one weather event to another within a span of minutes. So, it's tough to kind of see through our windshield. So obviously we are very, very safe. We had pulled over during that dust storm because obviously, that's what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to pull over, turn your lights off, and wait it out. And, with the rain, that's kind of take it to whatever you think you can handle. We're driving very slow. We may even pull over ourselves just to be very safe and make sure that we can get through. And hopefully everybody can get through this storm safely.
All right, Stephanie, thanks so much for that. Yes, like you said, you've been in the dust and now in the rain. We're still tracking our severe thunderstorm warning, and this is in effect for the Queen Creek area. And so if you live in this area, we're seeing very heavy rain coming down at this point, some strong winds as well. Our dust storm warning is also in effect. That's through at least 5:45, but I also think that that will likely get extended as we head into the next hour. So here's a look at that severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, I think we're going to take a look at our traffic cameras at this point. Roy, I think this might be let me get a little bit closer. Okay.
Is it the 202 in Alma School? There's a crash there.
Okay, so Jared is saying there is a crash on the Loop 202 in Alma School. This looks like the Loop 202 and McClintock Drive. It looks like some people are doing the situation like Nicole was saying, where some people tend to turn their flashers on, obviously when the visibility goes down, but that's not the right thing to do. If you do get stuck in these situations, you've got to pull over and turn those lights off. If you guys want to pull up my weather computer, we're looking at our severe thunderstorm warning that has now been extended further into parts of the valley. So now including areas like Chandler, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect from those showers and storms, again, that are moving up from the south and pushing up to the north. So that's the general direction that they've been going in. And we knew it'd be some around this 5:30 hour that we'd start to see some of this activity. But here's the direction they're moving in right now. We're looking at heavy rain. So yes, that is going to impact our evening commute. So feel free, guys, to pull up those traffic cameras throughout the hour if you'd like to. Again, continuing to push up to the north. So now areas like Chandler are getting hit hard with some of that rain. And look at these wind gusts, 67-mile-an-hour winds right now in Chandler. That's extreme. That's pretty significant for this point. It looks like, again, what was a lot of dust down to the south of us, at least is kind of getting washed away a little bit by some of the rain, Royal.
Yeah, it may even be indicative that we're getting some microbursting. I was looking for that on our velocity charts, could not find it.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it's not there because, as you know, microbursts are very hard to pick up. But when we start seeing those kind of speeds, we worry about microbursts in compact areas where we're going to see a fair amount of damage. Now, showing you the radar where we do have the warning, and we're just focusing on the rain and the lightning right now. We've got rainfall rates of over 5 inches per hour right now south of Higley, and it looks like we've got a pretty heavy cell also into the Ahwatukee area. Let's see what that is ringing up at. That rate is 8 inches per hour. So an 8-inch per hour cell right now over the Ahwatukee area, and that's right around the I-10. So just to the west of the I-10, it is raining very, very hard right now, and that rain will continue to come down for the next couple of minutes or so. And did I see, have we seen, was this the extension? This was the extension you were talking about, right? Yeah. So we have had the extension of the severe thunderstorm warning.
And it looks like the dust, dust storms, that looks like the same area for now.
Yeah, so the warning got extended up through Mesa. Folks, we're going to get some other warnings as well. And I'll tell you what, Jared and Nicole, this is going to be one wild evening for the next couple of hours.
It seems like it. We are so thankful for our viewers sending in videos. Okay, we've got a new time-lapse footage that's coming in from Stephen Biddle in Queen Creek. Take a look at this time-lapse of the Haboob that's hitting the Queen Creek area. Is that... we just posted that on Instagram, and yeah, if you can take that being like crazy and you just see this wall come through, and it basically like brings everything in the neighborhood to zero visibility. But how ominous to see that coming your way, marching towards your home, Jared.
It has certainly been a while since
Wow.
we've seen something like this, and folks who live in that area, I mean, they see this from time to time, but this is a big one, and it kind of maintained its composure as it moved up through the desert. Sometimes they'll dissipate earlier than this, but you could just see it just sort of swallowed up that entire neighborhood. And I'm looking at our helicopter live feed, if you guys want to bring that up, to go back to the two boxes, because that is just so impressive to see how high and how tall this wall of dust is that is continuing to move up into the valley tonight, starting to eat away at parts of the southeast valley right now.
When we had that other intense storm that came through the other night, we had microbursts with winds gusts topping 59 miles an hour. Royal, were you saying 39-mile-per-hour gusts is like the peak of what we're seeing? Holly and Royal?
Holly, we had a
67 in the Chandler area. That's
And that's why we're concerned there's some microbursts out of that storm that's warned in the Mesa area, Gilbert up into Mesa area right now, because that's destructive wind right there.
We have 67 in Chandler right now, 52 out in Mesa, 44-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Maricopa. So these are very, very strong winds. That's what really kicked up that wall of dust to begin with, right, guys, down to the south. If you want to pull up my computer, our dust storm warning has now been extended even further up into parts of the valley. We're looking at that dust storm warning extending all the way up along the Loop 101 now, up toward Cave Creek, so right through North Scottsdale. So almost a majority, Royal, of, I would say, the central portions of the valley out to the east as well. I think we have Zach Proletsky out in our car out right now, our storm commander, kind of giving us a good perspective of what it's looking like out in his area. I don't know if we have Zach live.
Hey, Holly. Yeah, I'm here. We are near the Loop 202 and East Williamsfield Road.
Jared.
We're going to start making our way towards Sky Harbor here in a little bit. But the conditions really have gone south. I'd say in the last half hour, we were actually out at Higley High School doing a story with the football team here. We could see a wall of dust quickly approaching from the Casa Grande area. And, the dust started coming in, just a few minutes before 5. And as we were driving towards the Loop 202, we passed multiple trees that had been knocked over in the middle of the road. There were some cops that were already starting to do some traffic control in those areas. Now we're dealing with a little bit of lightning and thunder. The rain and the wind is not as intense at this particular moment as it's been over the last 10, 15 minutes or so. But definitely, first the dust was the biggest impact, followed by the rain and the winds. And now we're dealing with some lightning and thunder. And we're starting to make our way towards Sky Harbor. That's where we believe, and we kind of being told this weather is starting to go. But here in the Southeast Valley, it's definitely getting taking the brunt of kind of some of the weather. But in terms of the rain, not too bad. The visibility is not too bad at this moment. We are getting some lightning, some thunder. And again, there have been some trees we've seen that are kind of scattered across the road. So be careful if you are out. You do have to drive, and remember just to take things slow if you have to be out during this time.
And if you do, here's what your traffic is looking like in the evening commute. Loop 202 and Val Vista, a live look on the left-hand side. You can see it's a very shaky ADOT cam right there, and you can see visibility is terrible right now. All that dust is pushing through. You can see it on your right, and that's that kind of aerial view to show you just how thick of a wall of dust this Haboob that's moving into the valley.
Yeah, and we can keep these pictures up. I do want to say we did get an update from the airport. It looks like some planes are being diverted around us. A number of planes that are set to land here at Sky Harbor in the next 20 minutes, half an hour or so. It looks like they're circling in the desert for now. I see one plane that just flew in from San Diego. It looks like they're making a loop. They might head back over to San Diego because I guess they're just not landing right now at Sky Harbor. I did see a couple planes taking off in the last couple minutes. That might be on pause as well as we start to see more delays up on the board there this evening. So again, if you're heading to Sky Harbor to drop someone off or pick someone up, chances are you are going to see a delay on the board for that flight for the next at least hour or so. So keep checking with us. Stephen Sarabia is joining us live. Stephen, let us know where you are. I think you're probably in the Southeast Valley on the 202.
We're actually right near Sky Harbor right now, and we can actually just show you those conditions that these planes are in. If I could just go ahead and move the camera real quick. Here we go. That is Sky Harbor that you're looking at. That dust is at Sky Harbor. Visibility very, very low for those planes. You can't even really see some of those planes. So yeah, the good reason why a lot of these planes are being grounded or not landing right now. Visibility is low. Again, that is Sky Harbor that I'm directing the camera to, and you can just see that wall of dust sort of impacting this whole area. And so we actually started seeing some of this dust as we were leaving the Phoenix area around Bethany Home and in the 51. We started seeing sort of low visibility because of that dust. And here it is right now. So we're just pointing this camera towards the southeast part of the valley where you can just really see that dust. I'm going to go back towards Sky Harbor. That's the direction of Sky Harbor where all those planes are and that dust coming in. We're also starting to deal with a lot of rain as well in the area that we are in. Again, we're at the I-10, just went south of Sky Harbor. We're making our way towards Chandler. So yeah, just be extra cautious on the roadway. There are a lot of cars out here, and visibility just continues to drop. Once we get a little further, we're definitely going to pull over, but you can see traffic is slowing down in this area because visibility is just beginning to drop. Wind speeds are up. We've seen a lot of debris just sort of passing through the roadways, and now we have the rain in this area as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Royal. He's tracking the storm right now. Tell you how the conditions are right now.
Yeah, and we want to show you the two warnings that we have active right now, and then we're going to show you a couple of interesting wind and temperature graphs before we show you the shot of the day that Holly has found for us right now. So as we go to the maps, these are the severe thunderstorm warnings. The first one, the earlier one, extends into Mesa and Chandler and portions of Tempe. The secondary one is basically South Mountain. This is Ahwatukee foothills on the south side of South Mountain, and South Phoenix on the north side of the mountain. So both sides of the mountain are included in that severe thunderstorm warning that is right on top of the mountain and has just been issued out. That severe thunderstorm warning will go until 6:15 tonight. Now, here's a couple of interesting graphics for you. We talked about the wind gusts. These are the current wind speeds. 44-mile-an-hour winds right now out at Gateway Airport, 39 at Chandler, 36 at Sky Harbor Airport, 36-mile-an-hour crosswind. That's a tough crosswind at Sky Harbor. 25 at Luke Air Force Base, and Maricopa has 30-mile-an-hour winds. And as far as temperatures are concerned, another very interesting story. Well, you can kind of tell where the rain has gotten into. Queen Creek at 82, Santan Valley at 74, Chandler at 82 degrees. Now, are we going to see that picture of the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like, Royal, it's just so interesting to see the photos of them when the wall is starting to form.
Yes.
We saw that a couple of hours ago, but we're looking at our camera that's up near the North Scottsdale area, looking down right over Camelback Mountain. So if you look out there in the distance, you could see that wall of dust slowly approaching and kind of almost at the base, it looks like, of Camelback wanting to cross over it. And I don't know, Royal, if you would happen to know, I mean, I know these can go, 5,000 feet up into the air. It's hard to tell, obviously, right now, but...
We were guessing it's 4,000 to 5,000 feet up. The other thing, I don't have an arc measurement tool on the graphics, but I've measured out what we can tell of the length of it up around 70 miles.
Wow.
So that's how long this dust storm is. And just the fact that you're showing it coming through north central portions of Phoenix right now is another indication of how strong it is.
Sure, and imagine, people who are, in this general area, you're looking due south, and this is what you see coming into your neighborhood. We're looking at visibility now, Royal, and this has really changed for us here in the valley within the last 30 minutes or so. Visibility down to about a mile or less, and there you could see our driving shot on the roadway on the right side of your screen. On the left is the visibility around 1 mile down to about a mile, all the way from Chandler to Mesa Gateway up to Scottsdale. Not dealing with visibility issues just yet, but again, this is a massive wall of dust moving in from the south and pushing up to the north. Again, Royal showed current wind speeds. How about those wind gusts that we've had throughout the afternoon and evening? Some of the strongest winds have been out near Chandler, 67-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And Royal, it looks like Phoenix just clocked 68.
You're kidding me, 68?
Mesa has a 66. And so it looks like those showers and storms, you were talking about that severe thunderstorm warning. I'll pull it up here on my screen. These are packing a punch. And we looked at these earlier together, just down to the south of us. We knew that likely some of these would turn severe. And that's now what we're seeing at this point. So this is a busy map, but here is our severe thunderstorm warnings. Those areas you see here on your screen in that orange box, all the way from Queen Creek out to Chandler and Royal. It looks like now our dust storm warning is being popped up and extended into the West Valley.
Well,
so almost the entire valley now is under our dust storm warning, all the way up from Cave Creek down through Central Phoenix, Avondale, Chandler, Mesa, Queen Creek, down to Maricopa.
Yeah, and here's the concern with these kind of winds is that we're going to have power outages. We're going to have a lot of them. We're going to have some damage, at least some tree damage that could even bring some power lines down. And so the next couple of hours, that's the other thing we're going to be looking for is areas that may get hit with some damage out of this. But for sure, we're going to see some power outages because of the high winds that we've seen with this. And again, we haven't seen any microburst couplets show up on our radar yet. That doesn't mean they haven't happened, but we're keeping a close eye out for that as well.
We just got an alert that came across our cell phone right now, an emergency dust storm alert till 6:45 here off of, we're at 7th Avenue and Bethany Home. So we're keeping an eye on all this. We do want to give you a heads up. We were supposed to be running an Arizona Family Investigate special report, grand theft cargo. I've been working on this story for weeks and months now. Cartels running high-risk train robberies, targeting rail lines in northern Arizona, stealing more than $1 million a month. We're suspending that. We're going to air that for you at a later date because we've got, obviously, this storm is taking precedence over, the imminent threat to your evening commute, folks on the roadway, and it's just not safe. So we want to keep on this and not break away from it. That's why we're not even taking commercial breaks at this hour.
I do want to say the video in that story is something I have never seen in my life,
it's
so it's worth watching tomorrow when we bring it to you. But yeah, we blow out the commercials, we blow out pretty much everything when it's a matter of public safety. So we do have a ground stop now confirmed completely at Sky Harbor Airport. A lot of planes incoming from, I was checking the chart, from Dallas, from Atlanta, out circling in the desert, maybe over a globe right now, waiting for this storm to move out. Derek Stahl's tracking conditions for us at Sky Harbor from the newsroom. Derek, what's the latest that you know?
Yeah, I think you and I are looking at the same map, and it's fascinating to watch. But this is the issue. Less than 1 mile of visibility at Sky Harbor. This is our closest camera to it. And as I bring in the map here, this is the map that Jared's been talking about, showing the various planes out in the desert. Right now I'm looking at one, a Southwest flight that was coming in from Denver. It was supposed to land at 4:45 today. Obviously that's not happening, so it's heading out to the desert. And then there's a couple of other Southwest flights that are just sort of circling out there, out north of the valley along the I-17. This one was coming in from Reno to Phoenix. It was supposed to land at 6 o'clock. Looks like it might be delayed. It's out there spinning around. Here's one, Seattle to Phoenix, also supposed to land at 6 o'clock. It's also sort of in that pattern out there. And I have not seen flights take off either. Here's a different Southwest flight. This one was coming in from Sacramento. It was almost to the airport, almost down there in the Scottsdale area, and then it had to take this loop-de-loop path all the way out past Cave Creek, and it's now heading. This seems to be the area where they're kind of putting most of the planes in pattern there. But switching back to the live camera of Sky Harbor, that's what's going on. It's dusty, and they just can't land planes in situations like that. I'll show you a couple other ADOT cameras while I have a moment. This is the 10 at 40th Street. So this is a little bit more central corridor, and you can see the cameras are now bumping and jumping. Looks like they have a little bit of rain there as well. See a little bit of reflections off the roadways, indicating that there might be some slickness out there. And if I bring in the traffic computer for you, you can see the general kind of gist of where we are. But a lot of slowness, couple of crashes as well. So it's definitely an eventful day on the roads on a Monday evening commute. That's the latest here in the newsroom. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Derek. And we're going to go ahead and check in on some power outages. We know that the winds gusts are so strong, they're taking down trees, and anytime this happens, power lines as well.
Vanessa, I think you're tracking that for us tonight. We're getting set up over there at the computer as we talk to, as we take a look at the numbers from both SRP and APS. Boy, they just got everything back online from that bad storm Thursday night. Looks like they have another long night ahead of them, Vanessa.
Yeah, happy Monday to you. Right? A heck of a way to start out the week. This doesn't last forever, so that's good news right there. So let's go ahead and start with SRP here. The whole map lighted up, as you can imagine. You're watching that severe weather play through. So just clicking on some of these areas here, you've got a power outage for almost 2 hours, about 2,200 people impacted here. And what I have noticed, this is North 44th Street to 56th Street and Thomas Road. So a little farther south, as Holly and Royal were talking about, we were watching that storm kind of come up in the area, the Chandler area, a little north of Chandler. You got about 1,500 people there who are affected. Let's top on another one, 779. So what I've been looking at and seeing is about 600 to 1,000 people that have been affected here. APS over here, they've got about 7,900 people who are affected by these power outages. So they got a little bit more there, a grander scale. Excuse me, and they are saying it is because of this severe weather. So you've got a number of people who have been impacted, power lines down. This is over in Camp Verde, northwestern part of the state. This was reported around 6 o'clock this evening. Just before I hopped on here, I was looking at my computer. And with APS power outages, you have people who had started reporting these power outages around 4:30, which would make sense is when this really started to pick up here. So a number of people with their power out right now, looking between SRP and APS, you're looking about an hour and a half to 2 hours is what I've been seeing with the power being restored there. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this, see what general areas are going to and have been affected. So fingers crossed it won't last long for people there who are without their power right now.
All right, yeah, thanks so much, Vanessa. Very helpful. If you guys want to keep Storyteller up, we have some new photos and videos I want to show you, if I can find it. Here we go. This is Ray Road in, I think it might be Ahwatukee area.
Look at all the power lines.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Power lines down. Look at the debris. This video is 7 seconds, so we'll kind of have it on loop here. The power line on the left there is down in the middle of the road, Royal. Strong winds. You can see those trees gusting back and forth. It's now a situation of hazy skies and rain coming down at the same time, blowing dust mixing with that rain. It looks like on the left too, people are going very, very slow, but it almost seems like people are kind of forced into this shopping center with that pole down there right through the middle of the street. So that's what's going on out near Ray Road, but just take a look at some of these dust storm photos. This man, Jeremy, said this is the craziest dust storm he can remember seeing. I can't remember the last time we saw the superstitions engulfed in a haboob. This is a crazy photo too, out of the dust storm down in the Southeast Valley. And Royal, I think this one really just tells a story because you can see kind of, might be a little bit hard. At the bottom of the screen is a farm. There's animals down there just out in the distance. You look and just when you compare how small things look at the surface compared to these dust walls that can grow thousands of feet.
And it's amazing that we've gotten gusts of 60 miles an hour plus out of these thunderstorm cells and these dust storms. We don't normally do that, folks. The dust usually doesn't carry wind that's that high, even though it's so dramatic in the sky. And again, we're estimated it may be 4,000 to 5,000 foot tall. We'll be able to confirm that throughout the nighttime hours. But as we say, there also is a new dust scale that's in use for Arizona, and this might be the first time that we get the highest rating on the dust scale.
Yeah, and this is impressive for us this monsoon because we've had a few small little dust storms here and there. Nothing quite to this extent. I'm looking at the current wind gust map right now on my weather computer, and we're looking at still wind gusts that we've seen within the last half hour at 60 miles plus an hour in Phoenix, out toward Chandler, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts out near the Mesa area. And Royal and I have just been on the side here very impressed by this graphic here, 78 degrees right now in Gilbert. That's one of the areas, of course, seeing that rain-cooled air out there. It'll be interesting to see what Sky Harbor gets, our official gauge, because we now know that the showers and storms are kind of moving toward that area. I think we have Steven Sarabia out there on the road with our storm commander. Steven, what is it looking like in the area? Where are you right now?
Yeah, we're on the I-10, I-60 area, sort of in the southeast part of the valley where the rain has really picked up. You know, this is what it's looking at right now from our camera at the top of our storm commander. Here is our dash cam, so that way we have the windshield wipers where you can actually really see. And so we just went through that dust storm. Now it is the heavy rain, and this is right during commute time. There has been a lot of people that we've seen just sort of pull over to the side of the road as if they're waiting for the storm to pass. Many people just continuing through. You can just see these hazard lights. A lot of people traveling with their hazard lights on right now, so just be extra cautious. If you do have to travel, maybe just wait until this storm does pass, because as you can see, visibility is low. It's low not only because of the rain that we're in, but if you're up in the central part of the valley where they're seeing that dust, it's low because of the dust as well. So just be extra cautious out there. And the winds, Holly and Royal have mentioned the wind speeds. We could really feel them while we've been driving as well. Those wind gusts really sort of hit the unit. So just be, again, extra cautious when out on the roadways. We are on the I-10 right now, making our way about to be in the Ahwatukee area where those outages are, that, as y'all mentioned right now. So yes, traffic is moving pretty slow. We are going definitely well under the speed limit, about 35 miles an hour. Many cars doing the same, but if you can just take a look. I'm going to switch cameras right now because I want to show you that every now and then you'll just see cars parked on the side waiting out to this storm. We just passed by a big group. Don't see any right now, but this just gives you an idea of just how low the visibility is. This is our top cam, and again, everybody going well under the speed limit. So right now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Royal as y'all are tracking the latest on this storm.
All right, thanks, Stephen. We're going to review some of the warnings that we have out right now. The warnings for Metro Phoenix, both severe thunderstorm warnings and dust storm warnings as well. So let's get to the maps, and we'll zero in on the three warnings that we have. The first one's down in the Southeast Valley in Queen Creek. This is going to be the first one to expire out. The rain has virtually ended there, but there's still a little bit of light shower activity. That's just south of Gateway Airport. We have another that extends into Mesa up to about Falcon Field, across into Tempe at Kyrene Road. This severe thunderstorm warning will be in effect for at least another 15 to 20 minutes. And now we've got one that's headed out toward the west side toward Laveen, over the South Mountain area. We were telling you about this. It's raining on both sides of South Mountain very hard right now in the Ahwatukee foothills area and also in South Phoenix. That's where we've got the severe thunderstorm warnings. We'll widen out and show you that there's the dust storm warning. This is the dust storm that won't quit. It's headed up to Cave Creek. It's headed up to Surprise. It's headed out to Buckeye. It's at least 700 miles across at its front border. It's at least 4,000 feet in the air. Visibility is down to below 1 and 2 miles on this storm. So it's an incredible dust storm, especially for this time of year. Quick look at just a couple of street level rainfalls, if I may, to show you some of our major intersections. Downtown, heavy rain falling right now, and this rain will continue for the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. I'm not sure why we're not getting the names of the street. That could be there we go. Could be a cloud problem. Roosevelt and 16th Street, it's a pour down right now. We head up the highway and we see that the rain continues very heavy along the 51 toward Piestewa Peak. Heavy rain right now on Lincoln Drive, just south of Piestewa Peak. So we are now starting to pick up that heavy rain, Holly, but it's the wind that has really been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, strong winds in excess of 60 miles an hour across parts of the valley, dropping visibility down to about a mile down to the southeast portions of the valley as well. So we're looking at rainfall totals, Royal, 3/4 of an inch in just the last hour, with that cell that moved over the Chandler area, about 3/10 of an inch out in Mesa. So we're looking at, if you guys want to switch over to my weather computer, if possible, we're looking at just some of the rainfall totals. And Royal, that's impressive. And we know that can cause some flooding issues as well when we get that much rain here on our streets, and that can create some flooding issues as well. There we go. There's a look at some of the rainfall totals pulled up just within the last hour. We've picked up just a little bit over 1/10 of an inch in Tempe and in Apache Junction as well. So this has been some very, very impressive activity for us. Here's our visibility map. And again, we've talked about that dust storm warning now almost in effect for the entire valley, and it's dropped visibility down significantly over the last hour to 2 hours, down to 2 miles in areas like Scottsdale and Royal. We saw that shot. I want to see if I still have it pulled up here. Well, we saw what was that dust storm kind of approaching right over Camelback. Looks like now we're getting some raindrops, some rain, and look at those trees really getting blown back and forth. This is a look up in the North Scottsdale area. So I'm curious to see what our temperature differences are too, of course, when we get this type of activity that moves through here. Last time Royal and I checked, we were looking at temperatures that were in the 70s right through Sky Harbor. Nicole sighs. Can you believe that?
Yeah, 77 at the airport right now.
73 in Chandler.
Yeah, it's amazing.
78 in Gilbert.
84 at Scottsdale, 82 at Maricopa. It's crazy time out there.
And Royal, I don't want us to forget too about, of course, we have our wonderful viewers out in Yuma, and what just popped up in that area. We've been getting some heavy rain, of course, out in western Arizona as well. There's now a flood advisory in effect for that area, and just outside of that as well, or excuse me, a flash flood warning in effect for that area.
And that's rare for them. They get a little more than 3 inches of rain per year in Yuma. And who knows, they may get 3 inches of rain tonight in Yuma. Yeah, that's how rare it is to see heavy rain like that in southwest Arizona in the deserts there. Amazing stuff going on today.
Yeah. Haboob that we were used to seeing every year for monsoon storms, because it hits late in the day after extreme heat, and then wow, look at this. It started with the dust storm, and now it's bringing a ton of rain, powerful showers coming through with strong gusts, and the airport, like you said, is at a ground stop at this point.
In fact, they just extended the ground stop, they said, at least until 6:45, because they're dealing with a secondary issue there right now. In addition, it's interesting to see the FAA bulletin come across, say a haboob is impacting the airport. I feel like other airports around the country have to look up what a haboob is. Of course, we know all too well. In addition to that, there's a fire alarm going off in the tower, so the tower has been evacuated at the airport. Hopefully that's just a false alarm, but that's just going to add to the ripple effect, the domino effect the airport's going to be seeing here through the evening, because you don't have flights landing or taking off at least for another 45 minutes from right now as this storm impacts the downtown area.
It's also the typical timing for a monsoon storm, late in the day, unfortunately, when a lot of people are on their way home for the evening commute. So when we saw earlier at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, heading into the 6 o'clock hour in just a moment here, but at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, Stephanie Dupre was on the road heading towards Casa Grande, and it was zero visibility. It was so dangerous. So people were pulling off to the side of the road. If you get caught in this, pull off, turn off your lights, and just wait it out. Stay buckled in. Keep your foot on the brakes.
And we've been watching the power outages, which are likely to grow through the evening here as those winds push through. About 12,000 homes and businesses without power.
More than 19,000, I think.
Is it up to 19 now?
Between the two,
Yeah,
SRP and APS, we've had.
And we've lost power now at the station briefly, and there go our generators
kicking in.
All right. The radar's still up and running, though. There we go. Our lights are back on. Okay.
You know what's interesting too? I feel like we've been with you guys late at night when it's been seen. We were seen on air at like 8, 9, 10 p.m. when the monsoons have hit this past summer, and now I think this might be some of the earliest activity we've seen so far, at least. Yeah,
I think Nicole said it. It was like an old-time monsoon where the dust came in late in the afternoon, followed by the rain and the heavy winds. This is like take me back to 1988. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy out there.
Yeah, and of course, we still have our dust storm warning in effect, some severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So I know we're going to have SEEN come in and kind of take things over, but we're just seeing really, Royal, poor visibility out on our roadways right now. Now we're also dealing with the mix of heavy rain. We've also had some people with some power outages too. We'll kind of take a look at all of that coming up here.
Yeah, and we'd say if you can avoid driving and being outside for the next 45 minutes to an hour, do it. Just enjoy watching the weather right here on Arizona's Family. We'll keep you updated on that. And oh, by the way, you mentioned the app. The app is so cool. One of the coolest things about the app is it tells you when lightning is close to you.
Yes, you'll get that notification. It's 4.2 miles away from your location.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Watching all of the live cameras as well to see as this storm kind of treks across through the valley, bringing all that rain. And of course, we're not seeing any word of any crashes or anything at this point. So knock on wood that things stay safe on the roadway out there. But you can see very active storm night hitting the valley. And
this is one of those nights where it actually looks like everybody in the valley is going to get something. I mean, we've seen so many spotty storms move through over the last 2 months. This looks like a valley-wide gusher this evening, and pretty heavy rainfall moving in to the southern part and now central part of the valley right. At 6 o'clock on a Monday evening, we're going to reset in case you're just joining us live here at 6 on Arizona's Family Tonight. Boy, if you've had yourself outside driving around, if you've just looked out the window, you know it's coming. Dust, rain, who knows what else. Very dramatic video here coming into our newsroom. We appreciate all the videos you are sending in to us as we check in with our helicopter and our traffic cameras as well. Big storm moved up earlier from South Arizona through Casa Grande and Eloy, and now it's here with us in the valley. A first alert weather day today with storm chances sticking with us probably here through the evening. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Jared Dillingham.
And I'm Nicole Kreitz. I think the big headline is temps in the 70s.
Yes.
In the valley from that extreme heat that we've been sweltering with this summer. It was a monsoon for a long time, and boy, is it back with a vengeance with this massive Haboob that is moving across south of the valley up through the east. And here's a shot from our AZ Family News Chopper. This was about an hour ago when it really started taking shape. And we can see we've got team coverage for you to make sure that you are well protected. You know what's happening. Holly's watching the feeds for our viewer videos. Stephanie and Stephen are in our storm commanders chasing the storm.
Yes, and we're paying attention to what's going on at the airport as well. A ground stop in effect till 6:45 tonight. First, we're going to check in with our meteorologist, C. McLaughlin. C, I can't even tell what you're standing in front of.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of one of the things that I wanted to kind of compliment your team coverage that has been rolling on since about 3 p.m. with Chief Meteorologist Royal Norman. I kind of wanted to give you a couple of different views that you may not have seen over the last couple of hours of rolling coverage right here on Arizona'sFamily.com. And our coverage is going to continue online on AZFamily.com and all of our social media channels for the next several hours with Royal and Pete. So we're going to keep adding to this coverage that you can kind of send out to your friends via our mobile app, as well as our Arizona Family First Alert news and traffic app. So here's a look at what are you looking at. Well, first of all, you're looking at the temperature, 76 degrees. It dropped to about 70 recently with some heavy rain across Sky Harbor. They've also had a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust. This is our South Mountain Transmitter Tower camera. This looks out and down into the valley. You can't even see the valley due to the amount of dust in the atmosphere. Look at this. This is what people are facing on the commute home, and this is why we bring you First Alert team coverage, because this is a safety factor that we want you to know about. We want you to slow down, get those headlights on. That's perfect perfect driver behavior right there. Buckle up, get those headlights on, and pack in extra time to get home, because not only are you dealing with low visibility, you're now dealing with some very strong gusty winds as well as some heavy downpours out there on I-10. Here's the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess. This is looking due south towards the downtown area, and look at that palm tree up there. It is really whipping. Wind gusts 40, 50 plus mile an hour winds, and some of the rain is now sideways again, causing that low visibility. Here's a live look at what used to be or is the Four Seasons. The buttes up there at Four Seasons, you can see those small mountains up there. You can barely see it with the low visibility due to the dust. So they're on the top end of the dust, the rest of the valley under all that rain. Here's our Talking Stick Resort. Can't even see Camelback Mountain. This is pointing off to the east. There is low visibility here. Here's Maricopa, where they're dealing with a lot of rain in a short amount of time that came after that wall of dust. Here's Gilbert. Can you see that famous water tower? Yeah, they've got some heavy rain down there. Here's downtown Phoenix, really coming down on the streets there in downtown Phoenix. Hasn't even reached Lake Pleasant yet. So this is how big our valley is, that it's not even reached Lake Pleasant. So what happened with that Haboob? It was some really really strong thunderstorms south of the Casa Grande, Picacho Peak, Marana area. Remember, decaying thunderstorms during the summertime, they get immediate vertical lift, 30, 40, 50,000 feet high. All that cold, dense, evaporated air. Cold air is what? Heavier than the surrounding air. Just shoots down the bottom of the cloud and then rolls up all that dust right east-westbound along I-10. We call that dust storm alley. So that was that first rolling wall of dust. And then that kicked off all of these really strong thunderstorms. It lifts the atmosphere, lifts the moist, unstable air quicker and higher into the atmosphere. It hits its dew point and it really starts to crank. So what do we've got going right here? We have a severe thunderstorm warning still until 6:15. That's for the south part of town. They've got some ongoing flash flooding east-westbound on I-10. That is south of Casa Grande. That severe thunderstorm warning is for the southern part of the metropolitan area. So let's kind of break down. There's two of them. Severe thunderstorm warning. This is in the Ahwatukee area. That's until 6:15. There's South Mountain. You can tell that. Here's Chandler, Gilbert. That severe thunderstorm is until about 6:15. Look for that to possibly extend northward. And then here's that dust storm warning until 6:45. That's for Glendale, Peoria, Phoenix, Surprise. It stretches as far north as Cave Creek and as far east as Fountain Hills. That includes going up the Beeline. So that is some really treacherous travel. There is also a new dust storm warning now extending through 6:30. That's for Carefree, Cave Creek, Fountain Hills, Paradise Valley. That's the one I just pointed out. That's now extending until 6:30 p.m. Let's kind of go neighborhood by neighborhood, and then Holly's going to show you a ton of viewer photos. Here's east-westbound as you're coming into the valley. There's the Loop 202 extension, and that is just a complete downpour along Chandler Boulevard. Here's West Chandler Boulevard. That's the new Loop 202 extension. Kind of taking you down near Sun Lakes. They're starting to get out of the heavy rain, but that heavy rain is moving north at around 15 to 20 miles an hour. Here's Chandler, here's Higley, East Queen Creek Road, some light rain showers, a little bit lighter as you head up to the 60. In fact, a clear spot as you move past, it looks like Powers Road. There's Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport right there. They're in the clear at this point, and we can see right up the Loop 202. These are some lightning strikes. Heavy at times on the northbound, northwestbound 202 up near that gravel pit. And then let's go into the Scottsdale area. Here's Paradise Valley, McCormick Ranch getting hit hard. Look at the I-17, 51 I-17 corridor. Very, very heavy rain, but I wanted to pull out to show you that the movement is to the northwest. But right now, most of the West Valley from Avondale up through Surprise is in the clear. So it looks like, Holly, this is pushing to the north, pushing towards the Deer Valley area. And this is a lot of activity at one amount of time, at this close amount of time. And I haven't even begun to talk about the winds and the temperature change.
Okay, well, here, I have that pulled up.
Yeah.
Auto winds, right now we're looking at wind gusts seen, and these winds have been extreme. Over the last hour or so, look at these winds. 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts clocked at Phoenix Sky Harbor, 67 in Chandler, 40-mile-an-hour winds now in Scottsdale, 54. These are wind gusts up near the Deer Valley area, so we know that's having impact not only on flights in our area, but of course power outages too. Nicole mentioned temperatures. Look at this, 76 in Phoenix, 73 degrees right now in Chandler. That came after having temperatures in the triple digits today. We've been getting a ton of photos and videos from you, so I want you guys to bring me over to Storyteller if possible, and we'll take a look at some of those. Already seeing some damage. This coming in from Marcella. She says this is by Ray Road, and look at this. You can see that pole right there knocked over in the middle of the street. It looks like all traffic has to get into this lane and swerve around that. Looks like strong winds, of course, knocked this down, and that's what she's seeing in her neighborhood. We've been getting finally some rain videos. This is the Stapley and US 60 out near the Gilbert area, where we're looking at some rain coming down in this area as well. So we dealt with first the, of course, strong winds down to the southeast, and now we're getting some rain. But when you mix those two together, this is kind of our classic monsoon, where we're seeing the dust and now the rain on top of that. Take a look at this. This is a massive dust storm that rolled here into the valley. This is what Joe is saying. He shot this with his drone in Ahwatukee right before it moved here into the valley. And these are just so impressive. You can see the height of that dust storm. And at one point, it extended all the way down along the 10 outside of Marana. The height of that, these can go a few thousand feet. And so it will be interesting to find out just how tall this dust storm is here. But this is now kind of moved its way here into the valley. That's why Scene was showing those traffic cameras that are just showing poor visibility. We've had visibility drop below a mile in areas like Chandler, out towards Scottsdale as well. So driving conditions are very bad at this point in the evening, right in time for our commute. Here's another video where you can see those trows blowing back and forth, the trees blowing back and forth with a lot of dust out there in the distance. This is our First Alert Facebook page. We appreciate you guys sending in these photos and videos. Again, just extreme winds. Wind gusts right now in the 50 to 60 mile an hour winds here across the valley, wind gusts. A lot of people posting about the dust storm. I'm sure we'll likely start to see some more photos of the rain coming in at this point. I believe we have, did you say it was Sarah, guys, out in the field to show us what it's like? Okay, I don't know if we...
Yes, this is actually a much milder picture. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear and see me okay? If you can, this is actually a much milder picture than what it was about 5 minutes ago. The wind was really whipping, so much so that as we were setting up, this tree limb kind of snapped pretty much right in half. And as you can see, there's a lot of puddles in our parking lot. We just stepped out for a bit to show you guys the conditions that we're seeing. So you can see, even in just like the past 5 minutes, this puddle that you see over here, that wasn't there. So the wind was really whipping. We were feeling those gusts. It's obviously been very heavy rain. I mean, we were completely soaking wet in about 30 seconds. That's how fast that rain was falling down and kind of hitting us. Also, we did hear a lot of thunder, and we've seen plenty of lightning. Thankfully, we're in a safe location now. If we see any more, we can just step right back inside. But if you are out and about, it is a better idea to just go ahead and get in a safe place, get indoors. If you're driving right now, it's also a great idea to get off of the roads. We can hear sirens actually in the distance. Again, not a good sign, especially in storms like this. We see people getting crashes all the time every year in Arizona because of dust storms and because of monsoon activity. So again, I do want to show you, and you might be able to hear that thunder that we're hearing right now. We did see a flash of lightning a second ago as well. But we are hearing, you can probably hear the rain hitting my jacket. Of course, you can probably see the wind, but about 5 minutes ago, it was a much different picture. It was much more drastic and severe than it is right now. So in our area, which is in central Phoenix, it does seem to be dying down a little bit, but that's definitely not the same for other parts of the valley. So again, if you can, get inside and get to a safe location. Guys?
All right, Sarah Robinson live for us in Central Phoenix. We could hear the thunder rolling outside of our studio here tonight, and I think the number of power outages between SRP and APS is topping 30,000 now. Homes and businesses without power here tonight, and it's pretty widespread. We saw West Valley, Central Valley, South Mountain, Gilbert, Chandler out to the East Valley as well. So it's pretty widespread in different pockets right now.
We're going to keep up this radar bug at the bottom of the screen right now as we move on to get you some more pictures of what's going on right now. Derek Stahl is standing by live in the newsroom. And what are you showing us tonight, Derek?
Well, it's kind of a mess at the airport right now. We've been talking about the ground stop at Sky Harbor and all the impacts on flights. Now we're getting some new video from inside the airport, and it looks like there's a little bit of damage, maybe from the wind. So I want to show you this video sent to us from a viewer inside the airport there, and there's a piece of something dangling there right outside the window. Maybe it's a piece of little roofing or something like that, but we're hearing about a couple of different problems at the airport right now. According to the FAA, they had to evacuate the Phoenix Tower at one point because of a ringing alarm. Hopefully nothing was going on there, but zoom in, take a look at the flight radar map, and I want to tell you about kind of what's been going on with the ground stop. So for the last several minutes, this ground stop's in place. They've had to divert flights. Right now, I've been following a flight. It was supposed to come in from Colorado Springs. This is Southwest Airlines flight 1758. It was supposed to land today at 5:45. Now they're diverting it down to Tucson. And earlier, I saw several flights that were being diverted to Las Vegas. Well, here's the problem. If I switch over to this is the FAA alerts page. Right now, Las Vegas also has a ground stop in place. because of airport volume, and that's in place until 7 o'clock. So the air traffic controllers of the world, raise a glass to them because they're working extra hard today. I am watching, last thing I'm watching here is the FlightAware misery map. This is the total right here for Phoenix. It says 54 delays. I think this is a little bit delayed. We had 35 earlier, so the number is definitely going up, but I think there are definitely more delays than that. So we'll stand by and wait on that. Now let's send it over to Alexis Dominguez. She's got more information for us. Alexis, what are you seeing?
Yeah, well, we've been out here at the airport for about half an hour now, so you can see that it is still pretty windy out here. We still have very strong gusts of wind, so you can see just how it's making those palm trees really sway side to side. We also have a view of the control tower here, so we haven't really heard any alarms, but we did see that the dust completely enveloped the airport here, causing a big delay, even in cars trying to get into the terminals. Now, I also want to show you this side over here. You can see that cars are now starting to move, but you can also see that a little small tree actually came down there. And again, that's because we saw a lot of really strong gusts of wind. So we're going to try to get to the Terminal 4 right now, where we're hearing reports that the roof may have flown off. So we're definitely going to check that out. But if you are going to be heading here to the airport, definitely just make sure that you're prepared for some delays. We saw some people even hopping out of their cars over here, starting to walk into the terminals because they were trying to avoid that traffic. So we are seeing cars beginning to move again. So keep an eye on any kind of information you have for your flight, because of course we are hearing of several delays here. So keep that in mind if you do have a flight here today. So I'm going to give it back to you guys, reporting live here from the airport, Alexis Dominguez with Arizona's Family.
That's excellent advice. Yeah, everything is delayed right now at the airport, Alexis. That ground stop in effect, according to the FAA, until 6:45 this evening. So that's going to have a ripple effect on every single flight incoming and taking off here for the next several hours.
People are trying to get home, and so we want to take a look at the roads. We've got team coverage for you in Storm Commander. Let's start with Stephanie Dupre. Where are you now? What are you seeing?
Yeah, Nicole, so for a long time we were going 10 east, but now we're going 10 west back towards the Phoenix area, which is, we're kind of driving back into what we already drove through. Now, I want to show our camera first. So on our car, this is the camera on our car. We have rain. Traffic still moderately light. Everyone going speed limit. Keeping in mind the rain coming down, the wind can make it very difficult to maneuver. We've experienced that in the car. Now, if I can bring back my camera so you can see me for a second, I just want to give, the perspective of being out in these elements. I'm in the back. The way this car is set up, I'm kind of way back. I kind of want to twist it here. This is my photographer, Miguel, doing a really good job at the wheel here. This is not easy elements to drive through. Earlier, Scene had said treacherous travel. It is literally treacherous travel. We went through the dust storm, which I'm going to show you in 2 seconds. But in a matter of minutes, it was crazy dust and something, I'm newer to the market. I have never been through a dust storm like that before. So it was, crazy for me to experience. It was, and it's scary. We tell you guys, the viewers, you got to be careful. You can repeat it over and over again, but it's really, you don't really get it until you're in it. So let me take you to that video. We had to pull over at one point because we legit could not see a thing. You couldn't see anything in front of you. You couldn't see anything to the side of you, above you, below you, nothing, even with the lights on. So at that point, Nicole and Jared, we've been saying, reminding people in the elements like that you're seeing, pulled over to the side of the road, turned our lights off, kept our seatbelts on, had our foot on the brake until it cleared and it started to rain. So then we drove through some rain. So that's kind of where we're headed now, back towards the Phoenix area. And, we're going to keep you updated with what we see as this weather continues, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be letting up anytime soon.
Steph,
for now, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say you could leave that video up while we talk for a second. You just said keep your foot on the brake. You meant to say keep your foot off the brake, because the advice from ADOT is to just have no lights on your car. As counterintuitive as that may seem, yeah, this is the video that they were in when they pulled off to the side of the road. They were about to. And Stephanie made another good point. In addition to pulling off and turning all your lights off, taking your foot off the brake, she's new here, relatively new. Think of how many thousands of people move to Arizona each year, have never driven through this kind of zero visibility before and get stuck in this kind of situation. And a lot of folks on the road just kept going with their hazards on, which according to DPS and ADOT, that is not what you're supposed to do, all those folks who are passing them by. Thankfully, there were no terrible crashes out there tonight on the I-10 or the Loop 202 as this dust storm, this Haboob, caused visibility to drop down to zero.
They want you to wait out the storm safely off the side of the road. So pull your emergency brake, but take your foot off the brake, because otherwise that will engage the back tail lights. So Steven Sarabia is out in Storm Commander. We've got live team coverage for you tonight. And earlier you were out at Sky Harbor area. Where are you now and what are you seeing?
Now we are on the I-10 in Ahwatukee, and I'm going to switch to this camera immediately because we are starting to come up on what appears to be a crash. You can see the hazard lights. We already passed a few of the cars. There's one right there. Just take a look at the front bumper of that, mangled. And we have a few more cars over here. Again, we're in the I-10 near Ahwatukee, and I'm just seeing numerous cars off to the side of the road here, so we're not sure how many cars were involved in this crash. We were making our way towards Ahwatukee because we were getting reports that these strong winds may have downed some trees and some power lines in the area. Again, we're working to confirm that, but yeah, definitely dealing with some low visibility from the rain. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different camera so you're able to see a little bit better. We have the windshield wipers going, but yes, that was the I-10 southbound near Ahwatukee and the Ray Road exit where we saw that what appeared to be a crash. We saw some first responders on scene. You can see that mangled front bumper of the car, so you want to be extra cautious. Just highly advised to just wait out this storm. If you do have to travel, just wait out this storm. We've seen a lot of people pull over to the side of the road, just sort of waiting it out as well. I will say it has lightened up just a little bit since we last spoke, but still pretty heavy in the Ahwatukee area. Again, just taking a look at the street lights, I see some street lights on, some off, so we're not sure if those are impacted by any outages or whatnot. Again, that's something we're working to confirm. And again, traffic moving very, very slow with this rain as well. You know, Craig and I, we've been tracking storms for a while, so we're pretty used to it. But one tool that we use that is really helpful is the First Alert weather app. I'm just going to zoom in because you can just sort of see the active storms and where they're at. It sort of helps us whenever we're sort of going throughout the area. It helps us avoid the real dangerous spots, but you can really see where the lightning is. You can see where those watches and warnings are as well. I'm going to go ahead and switch back cameras to the dash cam just so you can see just sort of the slick roadways. Again, if you have to avoid travel, best to do so. Just wait for this storm to pass because it's still coming down pretty strong. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to you guys as we get into the Ahwatukee area and we look for those reports of any of those downed lines. Again, we'll keep you updated if we can get that confirmed. But for now, live in Storm Commander, I'm Steven Sarabia with Arizona's Family.
Those were, Stephen, thank you. Some of the first fender benders that we have seen down power lines, but he's right. If you use our weather app, you can check the future cast to show you what's coming your way as well.
Yep. A couple new notes that came in as Stephen was talking to us there. The ground stop at Sky Harbor has been lifted, according to the FAA, but now you have a backlog of planes that are on the ground waiting to take off, a backlog of planes that are waiting to fly into Phoenix tonight. So just because the ground stop's lifted at the airport does not mean you're in the clear. You're probably going to face a delay if you're heading to the airport for any reason later on tonight. The other thing is the number of power outages looks like it's creeping up toward about 50,000 in Maricopa County tonight between APS and SRP, businesses and homes without power tonight. That number likely to increase as those crews get out there to start their work.
The active radar is still keeping our weather team very busy behind the scenes. Let's check back in with First Alert meteorologist Steve McLaughlin.
Yeah, guys, if you're just getting home, you might be home late because that evening commute. You're joining live First Alert team coverage right here on Arizona's Family. 6:23 on your Monday evening. This is kind of the time when I'm giving you the 7-day forecast. Going to do that we're going to go over to Holly Bach with those impressive rainfall totals. Vanessa Rise is going to give us an update on those power outages. Here's a live look at I-17 south of Glendale. You're probably familiar with this pedestrian bridge. This update's about every 20-30 seconds. You can see the low visibility and heavy rain. There's the 2 airport warnings for Mesa Gateway, Phoenix Sky Harbor. But again, that ground stop has just been lifted. It's going to take a while because look at to the south. There is some heavy rain coming out of the Casa Grande area. And look, when I look up, turn out wide, there's a flash flooding occurring east westbound down near Marana, right on the Pinal-Pima County line. We've got 1, 2, 3 flash flood warnings for the Yuma area. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for Welton. And then we got a brand new dust storm advisory for the north part of the valley. That's that severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up until 6:30 for Welton. We can see that there is a lot of rain coming up from the south. The dust storm warning for Avondale, El Mirage, Glendale, Goodyear still has a few minutes left at 6:45. It also extends up in through Cave Creek, Fountain Hills, Paradise Valley. That should expire at 6:30. This is a brand new dust storm advisory. So what they're really telling us is, hey, it doesn't matter the mountainous country as you get up into the Black Canyon area or those rolling hills. There is low visibility north-southbound on I-17 just south of Black Canyon City. So where is this storm heading? It looks to be pushing from the south to the north, and right now it's pretty much valley-wide south to north from the Carefree Highway all the way past the Loop 202 extension. What the only places that are not getting anything at this point is the West Valley, Far West Valley, Surprise, Peoria, Litchfield Park. So here's some improvement. Sky Harbor went from less than a mile visibility to 6-mile visibility. That's going to take hours to catch up on those flights. Look at Luke Air Force Base, down to 1 mile or less visibility, 2-mile visibility in Deer Valley. And it's any wonder because these are the sustained wind speeds. Out of the southwest, 25 miles an hour at Sky Harbor, 25 at Luke Air Force Base. Look at the temperatures. You can see where it's rained. It's 77 in Scottsdale, 77 in Gilbert.